How to read the Jupyter Notebook. Up here you have the title of the notebook, and here you have your editing panel. And in here you have essentially two kinds of fields. This one is a text field called Markdown, and a little further down here, the ones that start with in and a number are the code fields. So the Markdown fields you can use to write text, and if you double click in them, you can write more text. And then if you click run, it goes back to normal. And then if you want to remove it, of course, double click in it, remove the text, and click run again. So we have the Markdown fields to explain what's going on in the notebook, and then we have the code fields. And in the code field you have this line that starts with a hashtag, and the hashtag means that this line does not affect the rest of the code, so it's disabled. You can use it either to write comments in here, or you can use it to disable the code itself. As you can see, if you add a hashtag in front of it, then the text changes, and if you remove it, it's green again. If it's like this, you can run the field up here, and you can see the number changes and this field is executed. Of course, since all it does is import a function, it doesn't actually do anything visible right now. If you're using a notebook and you're planning on changing things in it, then it's a good idea to make a duplicate of the file and make a copy here, so you don't ruin the original file. One thing you should keep in mind while you're working with the notebook is that if you run a code field, then it doesn't automatically run the previous field. So if we run this one, then you can see now it says 2 here, and here it throws an error, and it does that because we didn't run the previous fields. You can see they are still in the hundreds. So we ran the first one, but this code field only says print match object, and it can't do that if we haven't told it what match object actually is or does. So if we want to run this field, then we have to run the previous ones also. So we run this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And now we get the result. So if you come across an error like this, just run the previous fields and you should be fine. You can ignore the numbers, they're just showing you in which order the fields have been run. So if we run this one now, it will be number 7. But this can give you a hint on which fields you need to run to make things work. Once you've taken some time to become more familiar with the code inside the code fields, you can also change the content in here, if it makes sense. For example, in this one we put in a text to analyze with the code later on, and if you want to, you can change it. You just go in here and add more text. You can type it, or you can copy and paste text into it. Just make sure that it's in between the quotation marks. If you decide to make changes in the notebook, then as you can see here, it actually has checkpoints that it autosaves, but just to be sure, you should make sure that you save it and create a checkpoint yourself. Once you're done working with the notebook, you can save it again, and then just close the tab and all the other tabs you had open, and then go to the terminal and quit and terminate, and go to Anaconda and also quit. Yes, we want to quit, and yes, yes, we want to quit. And that's it. Done.